Hey everybody, Plushie here. With the surprise announcement of Morgan's banner returning once again for tomorrow on JP, I just want to make a short video talking about some common questions people have with Morgan and my opinions on them. Now, I might sound a little bit weird because I'm a little bit under the weather now, so I want to keep the video short as I can't really talk for that long. So the first question is, if I already have Arjuna Alter, why would I roll for Morgan? I think these two servants serve drastically different roles. Arjuna Alter is an universal anti-trait damage dealer that can dish out massive amounts of crit damage as well as MP damage, but that's about all he can do. Morgan, in my opinion, is a lot more versatile despite her losing out on the damage department compared to Arjuna Alter. First of all, Morgan is a better farmer than Arjuna Alter, no matter in what context. So the first context is she can farm with double Koyan Light, Atlas Mystic Code, with a K-Scope. She doesn't need a plug suit. Now, people's degree of minding the time loss of the plug suit varies. If you do mind it, this is pretty significant. If you don't mind it, then you can just plug in another battery support for Arjuna Alter as well. Do note that for Arjuna Alter, you also need specifically Oberon because he only has a 30 MP battery compared to Morgan, who can just use another 50 MP charger. Morgan also, in my opinion, performs a little bit better in 90++ node farming. I can't really tell you how to make a 90++ node farming team because it's really node dependent, but just know that there's usually a single target enemy that has a bunch of HP on the last wave. So you would want to bring a single target because having a AoE do that much damage is really unrealistic even for Arjuna Alter sometimes. So this is where Morgan's more supportive skill set comes into play. Morgan's first skill is a self-charged 30 MP battery, but it also has a AoE 20% attack up as well as an AoE 30% defense down. This is a pretty powerful attack boost for your other DPS if you need it. And also, Morgan has a targetable 20 MP battery that has an MP charge up tied to it as well. It's basically Castoria's second skill. And when you have these kinds of multi-core DPS teams that also require some of them to use their MP multiple times, you'd be hard-pressed to find out how many times that you actually need this bonus little 20 MP battery charge. So yeah, Morgan also wins in that department. Morgan also fits into the infamous infinite solemn defense spamming team. This has become a topic a while ago because of Himiko's release on NA, and Morgan can obviously also do it because her MP also gives you an overcharge. Now, compared to Himiko, it only gives one layer, but in most cases you don't really see the difference because you usually don't need that much solemn defense. Like 4 solemn defense is already overkill for most things, and sometimes Morgan has more consistent damage if she's facing like AoE enemies, or if you don't want to dedicate selecting buster cards during your turns to deal damage and instead want to focus more on just regenerating the MP of your entire team. With Morgan, you can actually do damage with the MP alone, while with Himiko you cannot. So I really like this composition as well. I have a couple videos of it, and I've posted a clip of it here. Morgan can also fit in even more niche situations that I really wouldn't go for if you're only going for these effects, but these are nice places where she can be used as well, such as being able to fit in a curse team because she not only gives overcharge, but also she curses with her MP herself. She can also be a support that dies off easily, which we used to call esports, because she's a berserker and she has pretty good supportive skills and she dies pretty easily. But if you already have a heavily invested in universal berserker damage dealer, once again like Arjuna Alter or even Raiko, rolling for MP1 Morgan, you would be pretty disappointed to find out her damage is not even going to compare with these other two. Second question, I don't have Koyan Light, nor do I have Oberon. Do I still roll for Morgan? Well, first of all, regarding Koyan Light, Morgan's potential is going to be severely lowered if you do not have your own Koyan Light. Koyan Light is a weird support where stacking her is a huge difference from just using one of her. Because of her first skill's cooldown reduction, having 2 Koyan Lights means that you can reduce the cooldown by 4, which means that you can use those skills again when the first use is still in play. This is the very powerful buff stacking effect of double Koyan Skaya, and Morgan's skills are obviously very strong, Her first and second skill are big batteries that allow her to charge her MP really efficiently, as well as boost the damage and lower the enemy's defense. Her third skill is a star bomb, a crit up, star absorb up, and also a continuous debuff on the enemy with the attack down and crit chance down. If you have that effect stack as well, it can really protect Morgan's really fragile berserker self. So having no double Koenskaya is going to lower your potential with Morgan, especially in a farming or a fast clear context. Double Koenskaya also heavily incentivizes fighting against man attribute enemies because of their second skill being a power mod against man attribute, and Morgan sort of plays right into that with her MP as well. So they have extreme synergy in my opinion, and not having your own Koen Light will hamper that. She is going to be a lot worse if you don't have your own Koen Light. As for Oberon, I think Oberon is more of a situation-based servant instead of a synergy-based servant, because when in some cases, in some 90++ nodes or challenge quests, you just need a lot of damage and also a lot of MP charge, and Oberon can do that. But if you're not fighting a specific fight that requires that, he's not that required, and I don't think he has especially a strong synergy with Morgan either. So not having Oberon is fine as completely. What MP level should I go for Morgan? MP2? MP3? I already have her at MP1, should I go for another copy? Etc, etc. Now, depends on how heavily you want to lean on Morgan. I think most berserkers, people roll for them to be their universal damage dealer because of their class. And I think for someone that you want to lean this heavy on, which is you want him to take care of like 80% of all fights, then MP2 is a really worthy investment, because that is the biggest jump of damage from a single MP copy. If you already own Morgan, you also have the option to pity. Now obviously you don't want to hit pity, but this is a worst case scenario. And if you're going for a third copy on top of the second copy, then you don't have that pity anymore, which kind of sucks. From my experience, if you really like Morgan, especially if you grail her, you want her to do everything, you want to push her potential, you want to use her in very high difficulty quests, then I think MP3 is also a really good investment, especially when I'm doing CQ challenge quest min turns against like really high resistance or HP enemies. That MP2 to MP3 jump is actually quite significant from my personal experience, but I know not everybody has the budget to do that, especially with potentially Road to 6 coming up as well. So I'd say if you really want to use Morgan a lot, MP2 is a really good investment. And then that sort of connects to our final question, which is, should I save for LB6 Spanner or just for Morgan? Now personally, I think you can wait a bit because we don't know what's gonna happen during this event, but assuming Road to 6 is still going to happen, we can expect the other two SSRs being Oberon and Melusine. Melusine is also an extremely powerful DPS. She's very flexible. She is not so much of a hybrid support. She can't really fit into other roles in your team, but as a DPS, she is very diverse. She can literally turn from a single target arts servant to an AoE buster servant, and she is very strong in both modes. And she can even outperform Morgan as a DPS in a lot of the cases. So depending on what you like, in my opinion. As for Oberon, I think if you already have a good DPS invested in and you want to more so complete your support roster, then I think maybe you want to save for Oberon, because once again, if you already have a really highly invested in AoE DPS, Morgan will probably disappoint you with her damage if you only go for MP1. So might as well go for the support that can make your DPS a little bit stronger. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this short video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.